Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading for August 2024, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a 10 of Wands. You're a hard worker. I feel that you have been really on the grind for a long time. You know, I feel like you put in all of your effort to something. If you commit to something, you give it 100%. You know, I think sometimes it's difficult to get you motivated. But once you get motivated, though, watch out. Right? And I think if there's any sort of criticism here, it's that sometimes you don't know when to ask for help. That you want to do everything yourself. You know, that you like being busy. And sometimes we keep ourselves busy because there's other things that we don't want to really deal with. We like being busy. We like being productive. You like having a task, you know. You probably right now even are in this mood where you want to go to the gym. You want to always be active. I feel like there's a surge of energy right now for you. And of course, this is the toward the end of Cancer season anyway. But I feel that there's sometimes we have to raise our eyes up and remember what the goal is, because this sometimes is a lot of work and we forget why. You know, or that we're still here carrying all of this weight, and we don't realize that the finish line was way back there, but here we are still carrying all of this, right? You're somebody with that kind of power and energy right now. Okay, the 10 of Wands is a card that sometimes says we've got to either ask for help, we've got to acknowledge the help that's around us, or we have to realize that the goal has already been passed. Okay. Let's put this into some context. This is really strong energy. It's kind of an energy that says we've got to ease down a little bit, Ripley. You know, we've got to take our foot off the accelerator a little bit. Next card we have, of course, is the Hanged Man. For you, it's either do or die, right? It's either I put all I have into this and give it everything I've got and sacrifice everything that I possibly have, or it's going to fail, right? There's no compromise. This is all in, all or nothing, right? And so the Hanged Man is, I think, your willingness to sacrifice everything else that is not immediately or directly necessary to the work that you're doing. Okay, and I don't know if this is maybe a business thing, if this is a career, or maybe it's a personal thing, a family thing, or if this is your creativity or your spiritual life. But when you really get fixed on something, you're willing to do whatever it takes to see it through until the end. You know, to persevere. Sometimes, now this is a lot of water energy with the Hanged Man, you know, and it's crossing all of this really intense fire energy. So sometimes we have to ease off the accelerator and allow the vehicle to just kind of coast a little bit, you know. So this might be now a situation of rather than sacrificing so much for the sake of this work, maybe it's time for you to accept the rewards of the work that you've been doing. Okay? Because I think whatever you're involved with has required a lot of sacrifices from you. It has, in a way, taken a lot from you. Underneath the surface, 5 of Swords. 5 Five of Swords is sometimes self-doubt. Okay. Sometimes this is, well, sometimes this is merely our love of pushing boundaries, of seeing how far I can really go. You know, you're somebody that you don't just do anything sort of halfway. You go to the extreme. You do it, you push as far as you possibly can with something, right? I kind of feel as if you're pushing further than you really should right now. Maybe physically, maybe you're pushing yourself further than you need to. Maybe it's even in a relationship or in a conversation kind of thing, in the way we're communicating. Maybe you are really committed to a certain path or a certain opinion, a certain belief, a certain kind of channel, right? And it's just kind of like, well, you know, we're already blazing this trail. There's no way that I can turn back now, you know? And so I feel that we're pushing the boundaries of something. And it might even be a message here that you got to just kind of back off of something, you know? This fire energy is getting too intense. And I wonder if it has something to do with what might feel like an intellectual challenge or some sort of communication issue with someone. Yeah. Or if the Five of Swords is down here because there's something inside of you that's saying, you can't do that. There's no way you can, there's no way you're good enough. There's, you know, it's all that negative talk that we sometimes entertain in our own minds, right? That internal dialogue. But in this way, it's kind of motivating you because you're kind of saying, oh yeah, I hell yes, I can, you know? So we're listening to those negative thoughts, you know, like, no, there's no way I can do this. And then we're kind of proving ourselves wrong, right? But with the Hanged Man, I wonder if that's coming at quite a cost to you, you know? I wonder if perhaps you are not so much focused on your physical health right now, or maybe your mental emotional health is being sacrificed a little bit. Okay. For the Five of Swords, let's do a Language of Flowers affirmation card. Because I feel like this is motivating ourselves through negative self-talk, okay, as a way of motivating us, right? And I think it's really pushing us to an extreme. Remembrance, memories, and the past hold the key. Well, that just happens to be our next card, and it is the Temperance card. I think there's always been this shifting between extremes for you. And I think that the key now, the memories and the past, they hold the key to your present. Okay. So what is this furnace, right? This is really the pressure cooker. Was there a time where you were really under pressure and you allowed yourself to kind of quit, right? And maybe that's why now we've got this energy that says, I don't care how hard it is or how much I have to sacrifice. There's no way I'm quitting. We're proving ourselves wrong. We're proving the past wrong with it. Yeah. This is somebody that stays in the race no matter what, and even to the point of the race is over, right? And here you are still circling the track. Reminds me of that Cake song, actually. You know, the arena is empty, right? Except for you, and you're still doing it. You still have something to prove, and we're not giving up, even though there's nothing left to do. There's nobody else watching. It's just kind of seeing how far we can push ourselves or push the situation. Okay. Sometimes we have to learn when to back off, and that's part of the Temperance card too, is learning when to ease down. Learning how to pull back a little bit from hitting that extreme energy. You don't want to red line the car all the time. You want to pull it back a little bit, you know? Maybe pull it back all the way. Maybe idle, maybe coast, you know, a little bit. But I feel like this is kind of this is part of your history, not knowing when is enough. Thinking more is always better. That if I'm not pushing the boundaries and exceeding, then I'm failing and I'm falling short, right? Let's see, what are we trying to accomplish? Well, I think it's some business or financial or some terrestrial earthly success. I think you're somebody that has always been fairly lucky in earning money. Not luck per se, not something that just sort of falls into your lap and you're just like, where'd this come from? I think through your own efforts, you're creating your own luck. Through your ability to tap into the flow of nature, the flow of the divine, the spiritual energy, right? That kind of Taoist sort of, energy wave. I think that you're able to really find yourself in very fortunate circumstances. Okay, you've probably had several jobs over your lifetime, and I think that one always has led into the other in kind of a strange or just sort of a little bit of a magical way. Yeah. The Nine of Pentacles, never had a hard time earning money, right? But maybe in all of these situations, you have pushed yourself very, very hard and realized that would come at a cost, and maybe in the past even you've kind of weighed those options. You said, well, this is a situation, this is, let's say, a job. This is a job that really could pay me very, very well, but I would have to sacrifice a whole heck of a lot. Time, energy, other hobbies and interests, and personal time and that sort of thing. And maybe you've said in the past, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. The prospect is not worth the investment. And that's kind of the Ten of Wands and the Hanged Man, right? The Hanged Man is all that stuff that you would have to give up in order to really bring out the kind of best outcome in this situation. Now, this might be a lot of career stuff. It might even be in personal relationships. I think there are essential things that you would never, thought you would never give up. But I wonder if we're realizing with the Ten of Wands here that we've kind of already shot way past that. That maybe you've been pushing this current situation to an extreme and you have already sacrificed quite a bit. More than you ever thought you would. I think you're realizing a lot of financial gain through this. But there the Hermit is ready for that introspection. Okay. Now, you have a strange connection with lamps. We see a lamp here in the Hermit card. I feel like you have a strong affinity for lamps. I don't know if you have a lot of lamps or like the stained glass or like special kind of lamps, I feel like that's kind of an interest that you have. But the Hermit is a path that's leading toward introspection. Now, this really could be, we could be looking at this quite literally, and that if you do not learn to temper your efforts here, that you are sacrificing a lot through your efforts. It's going to lead to kind of a forced retirement. In other words, you're pushing yourself too hard, the car's going to break down and you're going to be forced to pull over. So it's kind of, do we voluntarily make a pit stop, or do we just wait till the wheel pops or the transmission breaks down and we have no choice but to stop? Okay. So we have to kind of assess where we are in this process. How much more do you have on your tachometer? How many more RPMs can you push this toward? Where is the red line? If you hold it at the red line too long, something's going to break. Okay. And the Hermit is either the voluntary withdrawal from the race, saying, I need to take a break, right? Or I need to ease back a little bit and maybe stop putting in 24/7 to your work and take a little bit of personal time, or balance the hours a little bit, right? Otherwise, the Hanged Man becomes then the forced sacrifice, right? This is kind of the forced retirement. This is maybe the voluntary, I'm going to take a bit of a sabbatical, right? So I feel like what you're doing is intensely productive. We see a very strong connection here between fire and earth, right? You're very successful at what you do. But the key is in remembering the past. We need the temperance, and we know about temperance. How do you create a metal that is just as hard as steel, right? Through tempering, through heating it up really, really hot, and then, I guess, banging it around a little bit, cooling it down in the water, right? It's running and resting. It's the fire and the water kind of energy that is going to create the most strength in you, right? So let's not forget that. We can't just redline it all the time. Sometimes we got to slow down, stop, do the maintenance, and then get back on the road. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down over here. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. There we go. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for the card, put it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything, but it really does support the channel, and I appreciate that. Also, small announcement, I finally have an official Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. There's not much content on there now, but there will be, and you can find the links to those down in the video description. All right, make sure you follow those links because there are a lot of scammer pages out there, a lot of imposters. Don't fall for them. Use the official links down below. All right. Now, Path of the Serpent, general energy, 6. So the 6 is the harmony, right? It's kind of the harmony, the balance, the magic between coming and going, right? Between running and resting. It's not the extreme. God, my chair is really squeaky. This is your general energy now, that you want to bring out the very best of your own qualities, right? You want to be the strongest, most kind of successful, the best version of yourself that you can be. So we need to remember the temperance. We need to be able to slow down and speed up and know how to maintain our strength, how to grow and become stronger. You don't get stronger by going to the gym all day, every day, and lifting the heaviest weights that you can. You need the rest day, right? You have to give yourself physically, in that sense, physically the chance to recover, to get stronger. You know? And so when people think that there's a day of rest or a downtime, they think, I'm not being productive. You know, I hate this. I can't relax. I can't calm down because I'm not being productive. I'm not doing anything. It's a waste of a day. It's not. Okay? The rest days are very important. And on those rest days, you don't just see the bodybuilders sitting at home with potato chips watching TV, right? Maybe you do. Me. But then again, I don't go to the gym as often as I should. But the rest days are not idle, wasted days. They're days of light exercise, a walk, a stroll, maybe a day where you're just painting or playing music, right? Or playing a light sport out in the yard or something. It's not just kind of sitting on our butts doing nothing, waiting for tomorrow when I can get back to the heavy lifting. You're still being productive, but in a different way. Okay? In a way that's not tearing down, but in the way that's then building back up in that stronger fashion. It's the water aspect of the foundry, the tempering of the metal, right? And that's allowing you to be the best version of yourself, to be the 6 of Pentacles, to be as successful as you possibly can be in your very best and strongest, most healthy energy. A lot of harmony, a lot of resonance. Everything is in alignment here. And so this is too, it's not just the focus on work. This is now spend some time with family, be creative, focus on your spiritual work, right? Listen to music, draw, paint, write, relax sometimes, go and spend time in nature, really living a holistic life, not a life that's focused on just one thing to that extreme degree. Okay. Let's see what's in the environment. The Leo energy. See, now if we take Cancer on the wheel of the zodiac, we know that the next sign, of course, is the Leo energy, right? So it's kind of like we're moving forward in our spiritual evolution. And so by you kind of pushing yourself to these extremes, you're trying to become the kind of the next iteration of yourself, kind of the Cancer 2.0, right? The next step in that spiritual evolution of the Cancer, then into the Leo energy, right? So I kind of see that this is us evolving into, of course, the kind of the next best version of our spiritual energy. Okay. It could be that a lot of you have a very strong Leo placement, or you're right on the cusp, right? Maybe today is your birthday. You'd be right on the cusp, yeah. But I feel like this is the draw, this is the allure of what you're doing. You get wrapped up in this moment, and it's passion, and it's strong, and you feel creative, you feel powerful. It really makes you feel alive when you're engaged in this work. And so when you're at the gym and you're lifting these heavy weights, you just want to roar because it feels great to be, to be doing something, to be kind of breaking the mold of yourself, And it's really difficult in those moments to then slow down and be like, wow, I'm starting to get kind of sore. I'm starting to not feel so good. So maybe it's time now to temper some of the energy before there's that forced or inevitable kind of breakdown of something, right? You want to be very cautious at the gym so that you don't hurt yourself, and then you can't go for a month or more, right? So we're using the gym, obviously, as the analogy. If you consult your doctor before you start any kind of workout routine or anything like that. But whatever work you're doing, whatever activity you're in, maybe you're retired. Maybe this is just that. When I say work, it's whatever you're burning calories doing on a regular basis, okay? That's your work, whether you're getting paid for it or not, okay? But it's something that really makes you feel alive. This is that intense enthusiasm and passion that you have for what you're doing. So it's really easy for you to get caught up in that, and then pretty soon weeks have gone by, and when's the last time I slept, And this is a really good thing to have. I mean, you're very lucky that you have this. We've got to be able to temper that, okay? Someone in your family reads palms, right? I feel like you've got a grandma or a great-grandma that was kind of a psychic or kind of a medium, right? Because I see something with the hands and that older family member. Who is that? Who is that person? I kind of feel like it's great-grandma, and I feel like they've transitioned into spirit. But they used to do something with the hands. And I don't know if they would always grab your hand and look at it. And kind of like they're reading palms, but something that they would always be looking at the hands, right? It's funny. Very interesting energy coming through there. Let's see what the obstacle is here for you. And really, I think it's going to be more fire energy, because I feel like that's the kind of obstacle. Yeah, well, there's the Aries energy, the Emperor, right? And the Emperor is kind of us being in charge. It's us feeling the confidence. It's you feeling as if you're the authority of your life, It's also the kind of the rejection of anybody else telling us what to do. Okay, and it's interesting now with the Five of Swords down here, if this is something that might be related to a person in your environment. Maybe there's a Leo person around you that is kind of telling you, hey, you might want to take a break or something. Now that's going to lead you to more of this. It's going to make you work harder, just as the negative self-dialogue. When you tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm no good, that's kind of motivating you, invoking that Emperor to say, I'll show you. Right? And then we work even harder. So if somebody else is telling us we can't do it, you're somebody that's going to do it twice as hard, And that's kind of, that is a little bit of the shadow side of the Emperor, right? Because a good Emperor kind of knows temperance. It doesn't just kind of react in this overly aggressive way to every challenge or every insult or, is able to kind of modulate behavior. But the shadow side of the Emperor is somebody that is very impulsive, that just reacts to everything in this really over-the-top kind of way. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it, bigger and better than anyone's ever seen, right? Even if it comes at a great personal cost. So we've got to be careful with this. And I think the more that you kind of move into this sort of theoretical Leo energy, right? And this evolution of kind of becoming this the next version of yourself, I think that we run the risk of becoming a little bit too much of the emperor. Okay. Well, let's see what the next card is. I feel like you're being guided here. And this feels like a prophecy. It feels like your fate. It feels like this is very important for your evolution to move into this fiery energy, but at the same time, you've got to be able to detach from it a little bit, right? So what's the outcome here? 5 of Cups. 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups. Now, the 5s always imply the need for stability because the 5s are movement. So your mind is moving very fast. Your emotions are moving very fast. Okay? And what we need to, I think, very much realize is that we're not making up, there's no need to make up for lost time. Okay, with the 5 of Cups, I feel that there is something we're trying to prove. And when we take both of these together, the heart and the mind, right, are not satisfied, are not steady. Okay, not really grounded at the moment. It almost feels as if we're trying to prove something. It feels as if we're trying to make up for some sort of lost time. It feels as if we're trying to satisfy a desire that we feel should have maybe been done a long time ago, right? It's kind of like someone who finally decides to go to the gym when they're my age, you know. And it's kind of like we're going to work twice as hard because, well, you know, I'm not 20 years old anymore, right? But that's kind of the mistake, right? Because that's when you're going to kind of encounter that injury. And then the 5 of Cups really is the outcome, because then we're going to feel very disappointed and there's nothing we can do about that. So it really is about settling your heart and your mind, because right now we're agitated, it feels like. We got to calm this down. We got to settle this. We've got to kind of detach a little bit so that it's still vitally important, but not in the way that's going to cause any kind of impulsivity or obsession or anything like that, that we can just stay cool as a cucumber and stay tempered, right, as we progress in this thing. And maybe for you with that 9 of Pentacles here, maybe it is a physical health kind of thing. Maybe it is something in career or even finances. Maybe we're kind of thinking about retirement. And maybe it is that feeling of trying to make up for lost time. That because I waited so long, now I've got to work 5 times as hard, right, to make up for all those, you know, years or months or whatever of not focusing on this. Okay, so it could be physical, financial, it could be, you know, something creative or something regarding your life path. It could be something about relationships. I want to do an empowerment oracle card, because I feel like this is very empowering energy. I feel like it is this prophecy that's leading you to all of this fiery energy, right? And of course we got the Aries and the Leo energy. And of course we start off with the Sagittarius energy with the 10 of Wands. So we really have all the fire signs here. And this, of course, is the Sagittarius card. We've got all the fire signs here. So I feel like you're being guided into this very fiery, active, creative energy. But we've got to learn how to deal with it and how to manage it so we don't end up disappointed, you know? Let's see what the empowerment card says. The sacred fire. Yes, of course it's all about the fire energy, right? I am filled with passion. My energy is like a bonfire burning within. I feel energy flow through my being, and I focus this power to achieve my goals today. And these are those goals, right? The gain, the increase, the living of your best life, the becoming the very best version of yourselves. But to do that, we can't just let the fire run wild and burn everything. Okay? This is very on the nose, the sacred fire. We've got to respect it. We've got to use it wisely, right? Let's take a look at the mystery card. More fire, maybe. Maybe we'll get some good water, because see, even the water that we have feels like it's kind of boiling, right? It feels like there's some fire in here too. Indeed, there is. This card is ruled by Mars. So indeed, there is fire in here too. Okay. So I think we need some cool, cool water with our mystery card. If you have a prediction for that card, go ahead and put it down in the comments below, and we'll just see what we've got. We've got the Fool. Well, it comes back to the detachment. The Fool is ambivalent. The Fool does not care about anything. The Fool is literally detached from the ground even, right? Walking on air, literally nothing. It's zero gravity up here. Unaffected by anything. There's no wind, there's no sound, there's nothing, right? Existing in this vacuum. The Fool does not cling to anything, is not attached to anything, right? So this is a card about kind of letting go. The mental and emotional, right? The heart and mind that are in this kind of turmoil because we're anxious over this thing. We're worried about it. We're concerned about it. We're always thinking about it. We just need to let go, man, you know, and allow our destiny to unfold with the confidence and the peace and the calm that it's going to unfold the way it should, because there is a divine hand at work here. Okay. And I think even the Hermit is suggesting the kind of detachment, you know. And so maybe taking a break, taking a day off, or any sort of symbolic gesture, just to show yourself that you're not attached, you're not obsessed, it's not, you know, that we can let it go and forget about it for at least a moment. Yeah. This is the ultimate confirmation card for you. And I think this is very, very important. Trust that this sacred fire is burning and you are moving forward on your path, fulfilling your path. But we can do so in kind of this state of bliss. Yeah, Fool energy, very, very appropriate. Very nice. Not a care in the world, right? Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link upstairs. There's one downstairs. New readings for Cancer on Tuesdays, bonus readings on Fridays. Be sure to watch both. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.